Welcome back, Blue Raider Nation, to another Blue Raider Breakdown post-game show. I have Kyle Turnham here with me, the voice of the Blue Raider Network for our women's basketball team. After a tough loss against the Lady Vols of Tennessee, 85-41, I first just want to get your thoughts, your immediate thoughts after coming off the court. I mean, it was a pretty, I wouldn't say heartbreaking, but just a tough loss overall, especially for the community with so many people here.
Well, when you're coming into a game like this, obviously anytime we have an opportunity to play Tennessee, it's a big game because we don't often get this opportunity. So you want to take advantage of it. And, you know, I do want to give a commendation to our crowd for showing up tonight.
It's electric.
And, you know, we talked about this in our pregame show about how important it was for us to get off to a great start to get the crowd involved. And unfortunately, we didn't do that. And Tennessee came after us, jumped out to an 11-0 lead. And basically it was downhill after that. So the crowd really never got a chance to materialize and become a factor in the game that we needed them to be to carry this young team to different heights. But you got to give Tennessee a lot of credit for that as well.
Looking at the turnovers, I mean, we had 27 turnovers overall. I know we were talking about it before the game that was going to be really pivotal and a key factor of this game. I mean, they had suffocating defense, a lot of high pressure on our team. But after going into the second half, you could tell that our girls, they were really trying to battle back. They were trying to fight hard, especially Kirsten Verhulst, especially Savannah Davis. But from your point of view, what were you seeing?
Well, I think one of the things about Tennessee is that they're very difficult to simulate. Whether they're in the full court or even in the half court, they don't always do the same thing every time. They change up. They sort of hit you on the fly with a lot of what they're doing. And they have unique rotations, and they're very athletic. That being said, our outlets weren't getting to the spots that they needed to get to. We were leaking down the floor. Tennessee's trappers and interceptors were coming up the floor, and we were often leaving our guard who had the ball on an island sometimes. And that's really difficult because now you're trying to throw over or around a lot of length. And that's where I think Tennessee is a very difficult team to simulate in your practices, because you're not used to seeing that type of athletic ability, that type of height, that type of length and physicality that they bring to the table.
Coach Insel said that they just really couldn't execute offensively either whenever we're talking about the depth and the height that Tennessee does have physically. But also he said, quote, "You can't beat good teams shooting like that."
Yeah, I think, part of that too is fatigue. You get worn out because you're being pressed. And, I mean, that's part of the Tennessee system, is that they're going to, as I call it, hockey sub. They're going to bring in 5 people at a time, keep fresh people on the floor, and that's just not something that we do. That very few coaches do it that way. Not very many people platoon like they do. So the fatigue factor gets to you, not to mention the fact that if you faced any type of trapping in the backcourt and we do beat it, now we've got a reduced clock to have to get off a shot against. So sometimes against a team like Tennessee that gambles as much as they do, you need a little bit more time on the shot clock, but they don't give you that luxury because of all the pressing and trapping and the different things that they do defensively.
Blair and Savannah fouled out in the fourth quarter, as we saw. But you saw a lot of these. We have a young team, obviously, but they really had to step up just to continue to push forward. What were you seeing from them that impressed you this game that they're just going to continue to grow on?
Really happy with Savannah in the sense that not only did she have 18 points, I'm more impressed with the way that she got her 18 points. She has a reputation, well-deserved, as a fantastic three-point shooter.
Yep.
The other teams know that as well. So they're going to run her off the three-point line and force her to have to put the ball on the floor and get baskets. And she did that tonight. She came off and had a couple of pull-up jumpers. She got to the rim a couple of times. And just looked like the Savannah Davis that needs to be tonight's game, needs to be her standard offensively and defensively as well, because a lot of people will forget that she took 2 charges as well.
Yeah.
And I just thought that she looked absolutely fantastic. Blair in the second half in particular did a much better job of posting up, had a really difficult time finishing because once again you're trying to simulate that in practice with, taller players, more athletic players. And, I go back to this same thing. Tennessee doesn't always do the same thing twice in a row. You may run the same offensive scheme, and they may play 5 different ways in the way that they go about handling it. So it's difficult, again, for an inexperienced team to try to pick up on, okay, they did this, now they're doing it this way, now they're doing it this way. And that's where your reads come into play. And experienced players are better making those reads than inexperienced players are.
Couldn't agree more. Coach Insel was also talking about how it's just time to turn the page. You got to keep going forward. You got to keep pushing. I mean, this is a long season, and we're in the very beginning of it. From your perspective, I mean, you have quite the coaching pedigree as well. How do you think that they're going to just continue to grow and get better and evolve, especially as they hit the road at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning on the way to Destin, Florida, to play a pretty good Big East team like Providence on Monday?
Well, I think for the most part, you really try to put this game behind you as much as you possibly can. You start looking for some silver linings, some things, again, like we talked about with Savannah. Playing the way that she played, some different things like that. You may spend a little bit of time going over some clips of some things that you didn't do that helped Tennessee be successful, but you really put this one in the rear view, in my opinion, and start looking ahead. It was a physical contest. It was a game that you could see fatigue being a factor. So you really want to give them a chance to sort of recharge their batteries right now. Get a little bit of rest mentally as well as physically. And I just have this saying, I think there's a reason why the front window on a car is significantly bigger than the rear view mirror, because you want to be looking ahead and not looking behind.
That's so true. I've never thought about that.
And I think that's where you want to focus. Let's go win the Destin tournament and not worry about the Tennessee game, because we can't do anything about it now.
Only looking forward. I love it.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Kyle. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Enjoyed it.
And like we keep saying, they are on the road to Destin tomorrow morning, where they will be playing in Florida, and they play Providence on Monday, and hopefully Mississippi State, correct, after that. So we will see, but we're going to continue to stand behind these girls and they just going to keep pushing forward.
Enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Blue Raider Nation.